All right, here we go. This is episode number 18 of the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas show. And today we are interviewing the directors and producer of the documentary series called The Bender Circuit. Features underground artists who use customized electronic gear to create unique audio-visual performances. I'll be bringing on Eric and Angela here in a moment. But before that, let's hit the intro. So here we go. We are bringing on Angela and Eric. Holy cow, we all disappeared. Now here we are. We're coming on finally. What's going on, guys? We got Eric Zimmerman. We got Angela Izzo. We have the Bender Circuit. They have their docu-series out. It's been all over the place the last several months. How you guys doing?
Great. Thanks for having us, Evan.
Thanks, Evan.
Love having you guys on. First time I've ever talked to producers, directors of a docu-series. So I did a little intro about this kind of a few moments ago. Kind of want you guys to talk about how this all came together with the Bender Circuit, how you guys got involved.
Well,
I'll start.
I had directed a lot of music videos for industrial bands like Nine Inch Nails, had like a hole down in it, Ministry Burning Inside, Soundgarden, Jesus Christ Pose, Rusty Cage, a lot of Wax Trax bands. And when I moved to LA, I discovered this whole underground electronic scene. And I met Angela, who also was doing documentaries and music photography. And we discovered this underground scene and decided that the world needed to find out about it. So this is kind of like the next thing after industrial.
It's kind of like the story behind it, because we were meeting for coffee down the road when I first moved to LA. It was back in 2014, and we were at Vita Coffee just by the Vista, and he's like, I have this friend, Adrian, he goes by Pulsating Cyst, like he's playing the show at this underground space called Mata, like let's go shoot it. And I'm like, all right. And then I like immersed myself at that show and fully like went in openly, and I was just like blown away by like just the abstract art, and it was insane. I'm actually rocking a Pulsating.
I see that.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing is that for people who don't know about this, it's loosely called experimental electronic. Some people call it noise, but it encompasses a lot of genres under that umbrella, including modular synth, circuit bending. A lot of the focus, though, is people who customize electronic instruments to make their own sounds that don't exist yet.
Oh wow!
So,
so it's pretty intricate, but cool as hell too. It sounds like.
I mean, it's kind of like metal adjacent. It's like a lot of people who like punk rock or metal, they like these shows, and some of these musicians are also in bands that are sometimes they play hard metal too, because sometimes it's just very out there, and so we're hoping that a lot of people who might like these other genres would give a watch to the Bender Circuit and see some crazy ass shit that they might not otherwise see.
Woo!
Exactly. And working with the bands that you already worked with in the past, like you said, Nine Inch Nails early on, you had Soundgarden early on, you had Ministry. I mean, you had all these epic bands, and like you said, it's almost like a progress of music that you like, kind of moving into different realms too. And like you said, a lot of it is art. A lot of people don't see it that way. They don't see it as the art part. So
imagine
go into that a little bit.
It's kind of like, imagine that you have Jimi Hendrix, but you're listening to all the cool far out sections, and then you just forget about the songs. It's almost like that. It's like, if you want to listen to Jimi Hendrix Star Spangled Banner, you might get into this.
Well, I started this more in like the independent kind of folk, pop kind of underground scene, and more of like a traditional setting of musicians, which I absolutely love. Okay. And so I was kind of looking for something a little more abstract and not so norm, like traditional bands like practicing a song. Yeah. So when I was introduced to the scene that Eric introduced me to, I was just like, finally. some chaos, and I just like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even people who like experimental jazz might find something in this. And it's also about the community of people. I think that, a lot of these scenes, industrial, certainly the Chicago industrial scene has a great
Hmm.
community of people. And I found that this scene also has a great community of people and it's expanding across the US. So, we hope as it goes on to also cover more and more bands. We hope that more people will watch this series so that we could release a second season. The first season has 5 episodes, and it goes everywhere from noise to dance, modular, church, and there's a lot that's
Oh,
covered. Hopefully, there's something in there for people who like outsider music and just weird music.
ooh,
So
Yeah.
very
this,
So
the
and
buzz
and
is coming.
and the series, which can be seen on that I recall, it's Amazon Prime and also Apple TV.
yes.
You
Yeah.
can view that there. You can, if you don't have the apps, fucking get them. I mean, what year is this? So make
Also
sure you get
follow
one
us.
of the two and at least download it and watch. So I have yet to get into it myself. So I'm getting to that point. I've been kind of busy the last few weeks, if you haven't noticed, but I'm getting that to that point. But I'm gonna say you mentioned something earlier about community and how music is that, and in different realms of it too. So you have the rock community, you have the punk rock community. Kind of this almost seems like it's bringing it all together. Is that kind of how you're looking at that?
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting artists who, in general, this is about more the indie and the DIY, but we do have a few stars like
Good. Yeah,
Jerry Casale of Devo is in it, and also Bon Harris of Neitzer Ebb is in it.
Oh,
So they
nice.
talk a lot about how they started, and when Devo started and Neitzer Ebb started, it was from very raw beginnings, creating some of their own early sounds and really trying to revolutionize music. I mean, back when Devo was out, people said, "Oh, that's just noise. That's not music." But they've stood the test of time.
And Devo is going on tour. They just announced a tour like 2 days ago.
Plus,
So how cool is that?
I know
plus,
Jerry is so
plus
cool.
we felt that Devo was important because they were one of the first bands to perform with visuals on stage and incorporate the audio visual aspect. So we cover a lot of audio visual benders, people who bend light and sound, and just they're really pushing the envelope.
And it's very inclusive community. Like there's all different types of artists and genders, and which I really love. It's not just like one type of person who makes noise. It's like everybody's included, and it's such a great community to be a part
So
of.
very open-minded, eclectic group of people, which is
Yeah,
my
like,
type of people.
People are just like they go to a show, they just stumble in, they're like, "What the heck is going on here?" Because people be in these like abstract outfits and like
Hmm.
breaking glass and playing with glass on their mouth, and sometimes it's pretty graphic, but other times it's very like beautiful and soft.
yeah,
Well, again, it's performance art, and that's kind of what this whole thing is about: is performance art in different ways. Obviously, being in a band, you're a performance artist that way, and doing this, like you say, with the sounds and the EDM and all that type of different music, that's also, you know, it's a performance. So,
yeah.
um, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Well,
I was gonna say, so how is this? How has the docu series been? How has the response been for you guys in the documentary series?
Within the people who are interested in this already, the response has been good. I think the challenge is to get it to the outside world, which is a big reason that we did this, is to raise awareness because we're like, wow, all these incredible artists, the average person doesn't even know this exists.
Exactly.
So we really do, need to do shows like this. And thank you very much for exposing this to the world. But it's just like the same way the scene is kind of grassroots. You might find out about a show like someone hands you a piece of paper at a
Yep.
show or a
that's kind of
secret.
how we started
Yeah,
this
it's like a
all.
secret backyard party or, an unannounced event off the grid. So, that's kind of what we're doing with the documentary through shows like this, trying to get the word out. But we really appreciate if people could spread the word and also to watch it because the thing I say is kind of like this is our answer to the Housewives of Beverly Hills. That's what the mainstream watches, and that's what the mainstream gets. But in order to for there to be experimental and progressive artists to be exposed, we need people to watch it. So please spread the word, and that's what we have to say on that.
Yeah, and I was going to say, you were mentioning earlier about the grassroots way of promoting, where you had the piece of paper or the little flyer outside of a show. Obviously, you guys are not really young. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm not saying you're old, but you know what I'm. But where I'm going with this is before you started even getting into this and started going to shows, what types of bands were you getting into before that? And like, did you see that where they were handing out like little tapes or CDs or flyers on shows? Because I know back in the '90s when I was doing this, it was all over Chicagoland. So I want to know, kind of what you guys dealt with.
Like posters and flyers, and because I was like documenting the music scene in Ventura, which is like a very small town but had this like booming music scene going on, and it was all word of mouth. You go to one place and everyone's like, hey, did you hear about the party next week? Like, oh no. So it was kind of like pre Facebook and like
Yep.
Instagram, so it was very like word of mouth, and you had to be in the mix in order to find out what the next event was. And it's kind of cool because we're throwing our own events now, and at Los Angeles Center for Digital Art in downtown, we do like these monthly events, and we're kind of keeping the noise alive and the community alive, because a lot of the venues we've documented recently have closed down throughout the year.
Oh
So
yeah.
we're just kind of keep generating like community, because it's hard to keep it sustainable as like a DIY community.
The thing is, there's kind of a paradigm shift that emerged through doing this, which is it's not about having 15 million fans like Bon Jovi. It's about you're part of a cool scene that you have to know about and follow to be part of it. So you might be at a show with only 25 people, but you're one of those 25 people that gets to
Yes.
be at that one time event, and that's the only time you're ever going to see it like that. So it's a different paradigm shift, and it is more punk rock in a way, because we're trying to get away from the more money is better. It's hard though,
True.
but we're trying to do it by putting it out on Apple, by putting it out on Amazon. It gives it more of a legitimacy, and it gives it more of an exposure.
Wow.
Whoa.
I was gonna say I don't really know where to go with that one, but I know you were saying you have the 5 episodes that are out that are available. Like we said, it's on Amazon Prime, also on Apple TV. Make sure you check it out. But you were saying too, you're hoping to possibly do a second season. So if you were to do a second or third season, what would you go towards with that?
We have like so many shows documented, and it's pretty much like like the parade, the whole like, I don't know, maybe I
we we
shouldn't
we we have so many shows and artists shot, so it's really a matter of being able to show more artists, more events. There's actually a story to it.
Oh yeah, we're doing 3D now. We're shooting shows in 3D, and we actually released
Damn.
the episode at one of our last events, which is really cool because
Yeah,
it almost move around the room, and you feel like you're in the performance, which is like super next level.
we have more episodes in the can, so if we can get enough people to watch the first season, that'll give us the wherewithal to finish another 5 episodes. So a lot of it is already shot, but we follow through the shutdown of COVID,
Yeah.
and how a lot of the clubs had to shut down, but the people kept it going. We follow the reuniting of a lot of people after COVID coming out, and the community rediscovering each other. And we covered Wonder Valley, which is a show out near Joshua Tree. We kind of covered a lot of things that people haven't seen yet. So for those who don't know about it, please come up to speed, watch the first 5. For those who've watched the first 5, stay tuned, and we're gonna hopefully come out with season 2 this year.
Yeah, you can find us at the Bender Circuit on
.com.
all social media platforms. So you can always stay in touch with us and see what we're up to next and kind of go down the rabbit hole.
Plus, if there's noise artists, experimental video artists, experimental electronic artists who want to be part of what we're doing, please contact us. Like Angela said, we're doing these monthly shows at the LACDA Gallery in downtown Hollywood, Los Angeles.
Okay. And you guys, you're saying that you also have a bunch of events coming up too. Like, what would you like to promote on that?
Well, that's it. It's basically we decided once a month we're
Once a
doing.
month, okay.
Yeah,
So
it's
we're
with
doing our next show is February 27th, and we have Sleep Depth Productions who helps curate the show, and our friend Rex, who runs the gallery, has been so kind to open his doors up monthly to showcase all these digital artists and have us kind of have a place to like show these creatives. So.
Yeah, I mean, what's fun about it is you're always going to see and hear something different and something that will surprise you. So for people who want to push the envelope or, push their own comfort zone, it's fun because it's not like you go to a show and you know every word they're going to sing before they sing it, or you know every lick before they play it. A lot of this stuff just comes out of left field. I mean, like there was a guy at the last show who had a drum set up with all these vacuum cleaners stuck onto the drum heads, and the vacuums are like creating tones and sounds off of
yeah.
It's like crazy stuff that you really don't expect. Some people are just really sophisticated with the visuals. I mean, you see stuff that's like beyond Pink Floyd. It's just like really always different, always innovative, always surprising, and that's why we find it exciting, and that's why we're going to keep it going.
That is awesome. Yeah, because I know I'm one of those people. I love to watch music documentaries. But if I see another Rolling Stones or Bob Dylan documentary on any of these platforms, as much as I love them, I don't need to see it. I need to see something that I'm not really, used to seeing out there. I mean, there's so much out there. There's underground everything. And you guys are one of them. So the Bender Circuit, I mean, it's right up the realm of any music lover. Find out more about this. I'm not even going to say genre. It's just music. And it's, as you said, it's noise too. But it's something out of the ordinary. So it's something different that people haven't really discovered. Your normies haven't discovered it yet. So, like you said, your Bon Jovi fans aren't really going to be heading out to watch that. Hey, you know what? Though? Maybe they will. Who knows?
You never know, because
you never know. Exactly.
Yeah, Bon Jovi saves lives.
Yeah, and really, like Angela said, there was like Angela said, there's a range from harsh noise to very ambient, angelic kind of sounds, and everywhere in between. Some has beats, some has no beats, but we're curating. We edited the shows kind of around different styles, and so each episode kind of has a different topic or a different style that people will see. And similarly, the shows we're curating, we try to group the artists in ways that they complement each other. But certainly, if you check it out, you'll see something that you haven't seen before, and you'll open up to different forms of electronics and subversive sounds.
It's like a sound bath.
That's what I like to hear. literally like to hear. So
it's like an intense sound bath at times, which I love.
And I gotta thank you guys once again for being on the show. Obviously, we have Eric Zimmerman, Angela Izzo, both the producers and the directors of the Bender Circuit. And I gotta thank Tiger Eye Media, obviously, for doing this as well. So I gotta throw that name out there. Definitely have to. That's your company, right?
We also
I want to make sure I have that right. So
yeah, we also shoot and produce music videos. We just did video, and believe it or not, we also do rock, and we do folk, acoustic. We do all genres.
We do it all.
We just shot 4 videos for a band from New York called Dog Park, and we also just shot 3 videos for a young artist, Lindsay Chia at Gold Diggers. Thanks to Gold Diggers Studio in Chicago. In LA, who's been a big supporter of ours as well. So don't be scared away by the noise. All bands. We're documentarians. We're like Andy Leibovitz of video. We cover a range of all personalities. So this is our pet thing. But anyway, thank you for exposing this project to the world, and we hope people go watch the Bender Circuit on Amazon Video Prime and Apple TV. Type it in, the Bender Circuit. It will pop
Follow
up.
You'll
The
us.
find it.
Bender Circuit.
All right.
Even though it's backwards on his shirt, it still says the Bender Circuit. So, I told him he could put the shirt inside out, put it on his back. You should be
in
able
the
to.
house. Igor Makin. Chris Holland's been watching us. Thanks, Chris, for all your support. You rock.
There you go. Yeah, Chris jumped on here, kind of throwing some love to you guys in the chat. So, thank you, Chris, for doing that. And again, Angela Izzo, Eric Zimmerman, the Bender Circuit. You know where to go. We already said this like 5 or 6 times. We're going to say it one, at least one more time. Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and thebendercircuit.com.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank you,
No
Evan.
problem, guys. Thank you for joining me here on the Better Listen Up with Evan J. Thomas show. We're heading out. Have a great afternoon.